And good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. It was a good day, actually, for trading. I will tell you that. At least in the NASDAQ, it was a very solid buying program in the morning. And we got a very solid pullback. Now, what that all turns into in terms of what our current count is, we have a little bit of a coin toss. So let me present both sides right now. That I had left it as I did for yesterday's update, and that was that the minute 3, had completed here. But I had been discussing that I had a little bit of a problem with that because 1 and 3 are equal, rather than 3 being a little bit greater in size than 1. Not that that puts pressure on wave 5, because wave 5 could definitely be the longest wave, and it could go through extensions, because wave 3 would not be the shortest. So the rule states, and it's pretty clear, that out of waves 1, 3, and 5, wave 3 is normally, or most often, the longest and the strongest. But the rule is that wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave out of waves 1, 3, and 5. So with that in mind, I looked at this and I thought, okay, they ran it up, beautiful. And actually, let me take it down to a 15-minute because I got to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it puts in a beautiful 5 waves up to kick off, in my opinion, that 5th wave. But then when I looked at this, I'm like, okay, so what if these 2 slow days of nothing in the market, which would have been the 3rd and the 4th, and then overnight we come down, looks like we put in a solid low, it rallied right off of that perfect, stick a 4 there. But what if I come back out and we're counting here, and this is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and somehow I work it out that wave 3 ends here and not here, and so it's an internal 3rd, 4, 5, which kind of sits a little bit nicer with what the market did immediately after putting in that beautiful rally. And so it reached 15,431, drops 100 points. So, it gave back, 50%, but it's still within a fib reality zone to be a wave 2, or I could put the 3 over here, and the 4 would go wherever this ends up. Because you see, we did an ABC down, then we started to rally again, and then they gave up most of that rally after the bell. So it starts to really just present a little bit of a confusing picture. So again, let's go over both scenarios. If indeed this 3rd, and in terms of the minute 3, is going to be here, and we're going to run fibs, and those fibs will be for the 4th wave correction. What do we have? First thing I got to do is let me take this out, so get away from a little bit of confusion in there, and remove this 4, because that's what we would be looking for. And we're just going to move this down to here for right now. So if we're putting the 3 there, and we have this an A, and that's a B, and now we're going to come down in a C wave, while 382 is going to be right there at 15,277, 278. Beautiful. We can put a 4 there. We could. 50% brings us down to 15,230, so we passed that particular low. But this one right here puts us right into that 4th wave of 1 lesser degree. That's a very common area, right? If this is going to be the minute, then this is a minuet 4. Where's this minute 4 going to be complete? Into some price territory of the previous 4th of 1 lesser degree, right here. So that adds to my desire, I guess, to push this up to here and then see how this all pans out. If we come in, start a Globex, excuse me, which will be in about 30 minutes, and we just start to rally again, then it's going to be more solid in terms of that it was 3, 4, and this is the start of 5, and that's a 1, and this is a 2, and then we just be starting. I mean, it has to begin to rally and just clear 15,432 and keep going. Now, big order to put out there for the start of a Globex session, or even within the Globex session. But that's what I would be looking for under that count. Otherwise, we can continue to see some downside action, bringing it back below 15,300. From here, that's 54 points down. If we take it all the way down to this support at 78, it's 53 or 54. What was the close? 54. 54 plus 23. So we can get a decent, a 75-point drop into that support, and that could then be 4. So minute 3 would go up here. We can get a minute 4, or it even comes down further, which is going to change some of our fibs. That's why I took those off. Because again, I'm putting the fib there for minute 5 to minute 1. But if I'm not going to consider this is going to be 3 and we've got a 4 still coming in here, ultimately, we could drop down to 15,230 and it still would be a wave 4. I wouldn't want to see it down here because guess what wave 4 still cannot do? It cannot overlap wave 1. That's the rule. So one other thing that could be possibly going on, we're forming a triangle, right? A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, and a 5, possibly. So we've got a bunch of stuff going on here. And none of it's really making itself very, very clear. So we're going to need a little bit more time with the market. Now, trading-wise, the morning is normally very tradable because as everybody's moving in, they're getting what they got to get done. They get all the orders that they received overnight or in the morning, buy at the opening, buy during the opening, whatever how they schedule. The first couple of hours are usually pretty solid in terms of picking up some good trades and making some good money. And then it just starts to go a little bit sideways, a little bit stronger rally. If you're not noticing it, you're going to miss it. So it turns into a little bit of a flaky day. And then we picked up again towards the close. So, but for right now, I am going to leave this as we had it with the scenarios that we know need to play out to give confirmation. And I'm going to put back up that fib extension for if this is minute 5 in progress now. So we go up there, we'll go up there, and then we bring it all the way over to there. So again, and then I'll clean it up one more time so that we get rid of all the excess that we don't need. And we gotta get rid of that one, and go this one to 2.618, which is really going to push it up high. But we're going to include it because that's a fib, and it's a fib level. And we've been seeing a lot of strange things. So now we're back, and we have our levels. If the market just continues to rally and picks up the steam as if it is within a minuet 3 of minute 5, so a 3 of 5 type move, that would be great. We're likely going to break this level and start heading up towards where minute 5 would be 100% of minute 1, and that's up at 15,620. But we got a lot of space in between that we need to conquer prior. So all of yesterday's analysis about possibilities of where our stiff or higher resistance zone for completion is going to be still within that same area. 15,620, 42, 795, 846. Now, the 846 goes along with that minute fifth wave. This one goes along with the minor. No, this is the minor level. This is the, geez, I got so much going on. I got to back it up myself. At some point, the brain stops functioning. That's that's what I thought. The intermediate wave C. So I'm going to go back down to that hourly. Let's walk through it one more time. This is where minute wave 5 would be 100%, which is the most common relationship. That's at 15,620. We have where minor wave 5 would be 0.618 of minor wave 1. Second most common is at 15,642. And then when I open it up a little bit more, 1.618 is where intermediate wave C would be 1.618 times the length of intermediate wave A. And that's at 15,796, I'm going to call it. Then, if this minute wave 5 really starts to rally, 1.618 will come in at 15,846. So we have quite the nice zone. I'm not going to include this right now because I'm looking for equality versus 0.618. That would be minute wave 5. And if this structure holds true, that should be exceeded. I'm looking here and then up into here. So that's the zone that I continue to focus on for completion. Moving averages, they start to stall out. The market gives a beautiful rally and then just kind of sits and does nothing for the balance of the day. So again, summer. Again, we had the holiday yesterday, half day on Monday. Maybe a lot of traders just took the balance of the week. They'll come back on a Monday and we'll go at it. We don't know. So we'll play accordingly. What I do want to emphasize, though, there was a lot of good trades. Good trades today. Plenty of opportunity to make good P&L. Over in the S&P, not as clear. No, let me just, one other thing with the NASDAQ. Sorry, I forgot to mention. This thing sat and still hasn't broken the wave 3 high, which in the other markets it has. So while they're off cruising to highs, back in this area, and last week, we were still substantially below. We broke back above that 15,400, which is a good step in the right direction. We now need to get above this minor third wave so that minor 5 starts to get into territory where it can complete. Then we're looking for that. But this is going to still be a stick in the mud. And what we have right above it is 618 for minute 5. So a lot of stuff kind of sitting there waiting to be dealt with. And that getting above the high of minor wave 3 is a big one. Now, minute 3 in the S&P within this minor 5 exceeded previous high of minor 3, which was 44.94. It beat it, not by a lot, but it beat it. Then it pulled back. So getting itself above 4,500, in my view, is pretty much a given. It should happen. But we're stalling out. We need to get above that and start building on it. I mean, it's just a hop, skip, and a very serious jump to get it here all the way to here. So again, if we are in minute 5, equality is 45.28. I thought, okay, we're on the way. We should at least maybe get up to this 4,500. Get up to here after the trigger stops. Let's see what we can do. Because ultimately, our zone is 45.56.66 up to 46.03. That's where minor 5 is equal to minor 1. I love equality. Out here, it is in the S&P where intermediate wave C equals intermediate wave A at 45.56. Pretty sure that's what it is. I'll just take a double look. Yep. So we have our equality numbers all lined up. 45.28, 65, 46.03. So this would just come in as an extension, right? So in other words, minute 5 hits that, but it just extends and it keeps going. And the 1.618 is at 45.66. So we have 45.56, 100% for intermediate wave C, 45.66, 1.618 for minute. And then we have minor at 46.03. So that's another really great zone, a little large, but less than 100 points. Means actually we could say 100 points. But that's a great zone, and I think within it, market should finish up this counter-trend rally that we've been in since October of 2022. So yeah, right now I marked it. We have the marking of the levels for the minute fifth wave, and I'm just kind of hoping that it can pull itself out of this. I mean, it rallied along with it. And that's on the basis that the Dow, which was really getting hit because of the banking sector, right? JP Morgan down, Goldman Sachs really getting smacked, and Citicorp basically finishing up on the day, but that was after the market. So it's a coin toss of what is really going to come into play, because what I believe that the markets are really continuing to struggle with, interest rates. Where should these interest rates be? So we're starting to get more reports from auctions like T-bills. Now we continue the 17-week, the 26-week, the 4 and the 8. The 17-week came out today, and it is just above 5.25. So we had that range, right? 5 to 5.25. Now we're there. Okay, so Fed, time for you to meet. Are we now going to press 5.25 to 5.5? Or 5.5 to 6? What's, so all those are the questions that are swirling around. Now, so the evidence is going to be the continuation of this auction process, of just the normal process of what the Treasury does. They auction off T-bills to pay our bills. So more information. Now, in terms of what's yet to come out this week, tomorrow's Thursday, believe it or not, right? That's going pretty quick. Got to be happy about that. We got quite a bit tomorrow morning, all coming out between 8:15 a.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Eastern. So we take a look. First thing, that ADP employment report, which basically never used to really affect the market. Now suddenly it affects the market. So we've got that coming out at 8:15. Then at 8:30, we have initial jobless claims, which are showing that jobless claims should have increased for the week ending July 1st. So then at 8:30 also, we have the U.S. trade deficit. Then we have at 9:45 a.m. the S&P Flash U.S. Services PMI. At 10 a.m. we have the ISM Services, same deal. So those have in the past had some strong influence on our market direction, but many times it's so momentary. But if we're really going to start to worry about interest rates and the market's going to start to really focus on that again, versus AI, versus an expiration, versus what we were looking at last week, well, then this whole fifth wave really is going to feel like a finishing move, because it could be a real struggle just to get it up there. And today we had, Apple constantly playing to the downside. They got it back up, they got it up. And then we had NVIDIA cruising, we had Microsoft cruising, we had Meta up a lot, and then it came back in. So there was a lot of things moving today positively to support the rally. Then it all kind of just died out. Now, again, what I want to show you here, let's even look on this. It's nice. We have a 1, A, B, B, C, or A down to here. B, we get a C bringing us into here tomorrow. All very possible, but nothing to write home about going on right now. So, and at the moment, we've got them bidding up just a little bit. So 275 at 83 is the current market, but we don't open for another 10 minutes. So moving averages, they're all still pretty much in place. 50 going flat after basically all of today. Registered a slight little rise, but that's about it. 24 and the 8 all sitting on top of each other right there waiting. And the 200s, yeah, okay, they're still there. That's where I'm going to end it for today. And wish everybody a very good trading day tomorrow. Next update will be on Thursday, July the 6th.